If there is a good time for women to be in politics, it is now. If it is a good time to commit to the idea of nation building, it is now. Because people are aware, people are questioning that why are these spaces male dominated. Governments and policies are making inroads and making policies which are driven for women. So it is time we claim that 50% of our representation, of course 50% is not happening immediately, 33% is not happening immediately, but we claim with authority that yes, we have a right to be here, and yes, we want to be part of politics, and yes, we want to represent our country or our states in the parliament, our constituencies in the parliament. We want to be that voice. I think it's extremely important that women are part of the decision making spaces, right from political parties, decision making capacity to who's going to contest an election, who the ticket distribution happens to. And unfortunately, even there, the number of women taking those decisions is almost negligible, whether you look at the national parties or you look at many of the political parties. So that is one challenge that we have. But reducing women to silos that only women should be discussing women's issues would be would be defeating the purpose of amalgamation. Where 50% of the population, if it's coexisting with y'all, why is it that 50% of this population is being barricaded to enter spaces of power? So the men have to be part of this process, and men need to realize that they have long denied women these opportunities and that they will willingly make that space. What this bill has actually done is, yes, you're right, they have ended up saving some seats for the men, and it has been pegged to delimitation that only when number of seats increase would we see a reservation, otherwise it continues as it is. And I can give you an example of the recent election going states. How many women have been represented by the two major parties? So that is where the question really arises, that who will take that responsibility. So it's fine for Bharatiya Janata Party to say, oh look, our constitution mandates that all official positions within the BJP in the organization will be reserved 33% for women. But that's not true. You all haven't given that space to women. Even whether it's your national executive, whether it is your chief election committee, none of them have enough women representation. And 33%, no way. And no chief ministers who are women. I look at it from two angles. One is that Mr. Modi has just come out of the G20 conference where he has spoken about women-led development. On the other hand, we have nothing to show in terms of representation of women in various workforce. Even our labour force participation is reducing, and with every quarter we see a reduction in that. Nothing really substantial has been done towards addressing this particular idea. The second being that it was a low-hanging fruit for him. You have now a committed women voter base who are coming out and voting in larger numbers than men, and they are asking questions about why are women candidates missing. But third thing that really surprises me is that you are a party in majority. You had committed support of all opposition MPs also voting in favour of this. Yet you chose to link it to delimitation and census. Now, 2011 census took place. 2022 census hasn't taken place. COVID was given as the reason. It has been pushed and delayed for so long. Everything under the world is happening, under the sun is happening, except for a census data, for India to have a census data. The second problem, delimitation. Delimitation is already seeing a controversy between North and South, where South feels it will be underrepresented in the coming times in the parliament. The third issue that I feel is also that why is it difficult to make an implementation of 33% in the current parliamentary system? Why are we waiting to add more seats, and once those seats are added, you will add women into the system? So I think it's nothing but just a political call that has been taken. I think women of this country clearly understand. There is nothing but a lollipop handed over to them that you can come queue up at the door of the parliament, but we will open the door at the time and date of our choosing, which is unfortunate. And then it goes back to the moot question as to why was the need to have a special session for this. We could have cleared this in the winter session if there was no definite date. And attaching it to the census and delimitation is an exercise which will lead to further delay of the execution of this particular amendment. I will go back to the 73rd and 74th constitutional amendment. When that amendment took place and when it was cleared, it was rolled out within a few months without waiting for a census, without waiting for delimitation. Now in the 2008 bill also, which was cleared in the Rajya Sabha but was left in the Lok Sabha for clearance and for various reasons could not get a consensus on it. It also meant for implementation for the next election, whichever state was going into an election, and the general elections. Unfortunately here, I think it is just a trick in their book that they will show that they have passed something, but not really implement it. No act in the world or no constitutional amendment in the world has taken place for a date which is not decided. It's nothing but delay tactics in making this implementation happen on ground. And that, I think, is actually cheating the women of this country who have been fighting towards gender justice goals and towards bringing parity in systems of power where women have long been excluded. And it also upsets me because it was something which was mandated in our constitution where we will have equal rights, but barricades were created over the years and opportunities were denied to the women. It was high time that a party which is in power, in absolute power, would be doing it, but they've pegged it to a delimitation, which again, like I said, is going towards a decision of the judiciary.